baby.
Yeah, it'll be
Hand me
fun.
one of those fucking IPAs.
Oh yeah, I got the heavy stuff. Most people don't like them, man.
I just
usually only get a
didn't,
6-pack because most people.
I didn't want to get in your personal stash.
Dude, the fridge is for everyone.
My go-to, I used to always drink IPAs, but my go-to is that Trim Tab Raspberry, man. It's like the only beer I can drink and not get hangovers from.
Does it come in like the tall boy like 4-pack thing?
And that's a 6-pack of like little green and white cans. It's like a sour raspberry.
Yeah, it's like a paradise something.
Yeah, Paradise Now, I think. It's fucking good.
Dude, well, Trim Tab has got some wild beers, but man, they're so expensive. Like you'll have like a tall boy 4-pack of like, Fruit Loop beer or something, and it's like $25. That's an exaggeration, but $15, $18 for 4 beers. They're doing all this like wild experimental stuff, which I guess is cool, but I don't know.
That one's a clean $9.99 at the gas station.
Okay,
And they sell
Paradise Now.
They
Okay.
sell it everywhere now. It's like at every fucking gas station. Oh, can I cuss?
Yeah, pretty much everybody does. So that's fine.
Because I'm not very good at not cussing.
We've learned that, and that was actually a conversation when we first started this. It was like, okay, are we gonna like allow people to cuss? And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to censor people. We want people to just be relaxed, and we appreciate everybody taking the time to even come here in the first place. So
I don't even know that I can explain sentences properly without using shitty language.
well, that's I think that's most people. At least most people that we've had on here. But yeah, man, Stephen Bate, thank you for coming. How's
Yes, sir.
life lately for you?
It's getting pretty all right. I can't really complain. I'm a little too busy and too tired.
I hear you. Okay. Well, I was curious when I reached out to you. At least according to social media, you had kind of taken a break from your first company, or maybe it's not your first company, the Dixiana Cycle Company, Cycle Co.
Yeah, I'm not
It
even
looked
really
like-
sure what that is.
I guess-
Dixiana Cycle Company, Dixiana Company, hell.
But-
It rings off the tongue. Dixiana Co.
It looks cool, though. Yeah, Dixiana Co. You got some rad shirts we got pulled up here. And
That Dixiana is a small little region of Pinson, Alabama, where I grew up.
Okay.
In between Pinson and Clay.
when did you start that company or get into building bikes?
Building bikes, probably in the past 5-6 years, I really dove into the more technical side of things, but I've always ridden motorcycles. I've had a motorcycle since I was probably 10 or younger.
Well, it looked like you kind of hit the pause button for a little while, at least for the past maybe year or a couple of months. Maybe just got too busy with things and had to focus on priorities maybe.
I got a little overwhelmed, I guess you could say. I did the People's Champ build, and I was working a full-time job and doing that in the afternoons, so I was basically working from sunup to sundown and then crashing and starting over.
Yeah.
I did that for like a year straight, so like I just couldn't keep up with that anymore. And once that was over, Born Free asked me to build a bike for that whole show, which is like the biggest honor you can be asked to do.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even finish it because they gave me it was like 6 months to build a bike, and I was in the process of moving out of my shop to my home shop, so that cut even more time off. And I just got super overwhelmed with it all. I was tired mentally, physically, financially. By the time I got everything moved from one shop to the other shop, I was just like, I just need to sit down.
Yeah.
Think of, try and get, and also trying to build those bikes on a time frame made all of my customer orders get pushed to the side. I'd be selling shirts and parts or whatever on the website, and months would go by that I wouldn't have time to get to it. So people's orders were just sitting there, and you're getting messages all the time like, where's my stuff? It's like, man, custom work takes custom time.
Yeah. You're working on your bike for the
Yeah.
contest or whatever. So talking about that, what year was the People's Champ bike? Was that in 2020 when you did that?
I guess so. Fuck, I don't even know.
Okay, all right. We've got your Instagram pulled up right here. So this bike here in the middle, you've got several photos of it with the helmet on that. Yeah, click on that one. Is this the bike for the People's Champ thing that you
Yeah.
were building for? So yeah, tell me about that contest. Did they just reach out to you? Do people just submit it? Because I saw you actually did a video that's on YouTube, which is really rad, where they interview you about the bike and about the build. And you talked about sawing the end of your finger off and like all the things that went into it. So we'll link that video in the description for this, and I encourage anybody that's listening to check it out. But yeah, how did you get involved with that contest, and how did that come about?
I've kept up with it for years and watched it every year, and for the longest time I saw those builders as like a whole step above my pay grade, so to speak. When I first really got into like building bikes or caring about custom things.
Where is this? Like, who are the guys that put this contest on?
Biltwell does it
Biltwell. Okay.
now. It used to be Show Class magazine, but I think they've tanked, and Biltwell just kind of picked up the idea.
Okay, but it's still all under the same name, I guess.
Yeah, it's still the People's Champ contest. So yeah, I just kept up with it for years, and then after I built my first like chopper that kind of got a little bit of got the ball really rolling. It got featured in the Horse magazine in 2016.
Do you have a picture of that bike?
It's on my Instagram somewhere.
Scroll down. Let's see if we can find a photo of that. I see you're making all this rad jewelry and stuff. It's like, dude, you're doing all kinds of stuff.
I have more hobbies than Hobby Lobby.
Let's see. While she looks for it, maybe way back.
It's probably way down. It's yellow in the most recent pictures. I ended up raffling off that bike. Yeah, there it is. You can go up.
All right, go back up.
That one in the green.
In the middle?
Field, yeah.
Dude, that thing is stretched out, man. Look at that.
I ended up raffling that bike off to build the People's Champ bike. And then I raffled off the People's Champ bike to build the Born Free bike that's still sitting at my house in pieces.
So the Born Free show that you were invited to do, and then the People's Champ, is that the only two times you tried to build for a contest? I guess it's a contest, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. For the most part. Sorry.
Well, dude, the bikes look really sick. I'm sure that's a sad moment when you raffle a bike off. I mean, it's a good thing when you like raffle it, and I guess is that the best way to sell a bike these days? Like by raffling, do you get more money than just trying to like put up a sticker price and hope that somebody doesn't haggle with you?
Yeah.
Versus like 100 people that all throw in $100 to try to win.
My problem is spend all these thousands of dollars and labor hours to build a motorcycle that technically isn't worth that much money because it's not a Harley.
Right.
So the resale value isn't that of a Harley. So if I was going to sell it, I had to raffle it basically to get my money back out of it. Otherwise, somebody would have been like, "I'll give you $3,000 for it, loser."
Yeah.
You know, that's not a Harley.
Do you ever build Harleys or work on Harleys?
Yeah, I've got a garage full of them. They're unreliable and expensive and.
Well, we were talking earlier. I met you
I can't afford that shit, man. Those people want like hundreds of dollars for like one random old piece, and you're like,
sure,
I can buy an entire Yamaha for that. Like,
I met you at we were talking earlier. I met you at a Haints event. I don't know what it was. It was at their place over in Avondale, their old place in Avondale.
It was probably one of the after parties for Barber, I think.
It may have been a Barber's weekend, but I think you were rocking you gave me your card, and it had I think it was a Yamaha Virago on there. Is that the bike that we're looking at here?
Yeah, that's after it finally got painted. When it was in the Horse magazine, it was dripping wet with like black spray
You had
paint.
just painted it.
I literally like, yeah, when they called me and said that they wanted to do it, they're like, well, can you finish it up? Like, pretty it up, whatever. So I was like, yeah, agreed to a very short deadline and stayed up for like 3 or 4 days straight trying to make it as nice as possible. I literally rode it to the photo shoot with the paint still tacky.
Oh, okay. Just don't touch it. Take pictures.
Yeah,
of it.
just like don't go anywhere near this bike.
Well, what was your first bike, if you can recall? Was it that Yamaha, or did you get into other bikes? I know you said you rode dirt bikes and stuff, but what was your first like street bike?
I bought a 70-something, early 70s CB550
Okay.
that my buddy Kevin Camp had like turned into a chopper bobber.
Bobber chopper deal. You see a lot of people doing that with the.
It was a backyard, weld it together with what you got, spray and pray welding and bubble gum and popsicle sticks machine.
Yeah.
It was a death trap for sure, and it was crazy looking.
Didn't fall apart on you or anything.
Surprisingly, it didn't. Now that I think back on it, it's like, whoa, that was dangerous.
How long did you have that bike?
Hell, I don't even know. That was so long ago.
But that was your first bike. Mine was a Honda Shadow. I think most of my friends it was like Shadows. But the CB, that's a Honda, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a Honda line. So
It was
All
a
right, shout out Honda.
CB554. I don't remember what year it was. It was pretty sweet. And when I finally got it tuned in right and dialed in, it was fast. I remember that. And it was so sketchy because it was hardtail with like a Springer seat and stuff on it going way too fast.
well, I see the seat. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and preface this conversation by saying I am not like a gearhead when it comes to like motorcycles and stuff. But all the CBs, I always think of the like kind of the bench seat on the back, real flat. Like they call them like a cafe racer type bike. You see a lot of dudes doing, if that's even a thing. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Actually, my first bike might not have been that bike. It might have been a Triumph. They were in the same time frame.
Okay.
I
How
had a-
old were you? You remember?
No, I have no idea.
Not at all. 100 years ago?
Time frames and me don't go together very well. When I go to tell a story, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember like a couple of months ago we were over there doing this," and like somebody will be like, "Dude, that was 5 years ago." It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought that was like last month.
It's crazy. Well, when you got into building bikes, did you just kind of teach yourself? Because I saw there were two videos on YouTube. The one, the People's Chant, where they were talking about your bike, and I guess it made like, did you win that, or was it like you were a semifinalist or something? Or
I was in the final 6, and I got disqualified at the 11th hour.
okay. Well, damn, that sucks.
Yeah,
But yeah, so they did like a whole series of like people in that year that I guess made that final 6. I guess they interviewed all the final 6. But then there was another video that was like people of Alabama, and it was just kind of talking about you and your life, and you know, it's a quick little 5-minute mini documentary type deal, but super cool. And kind of talked about how you got into bikes and started your shop, and you kind of hinted at your time like hopping on trains and just your whole lifestyle and stuff. A really cool series. I don't know if that's still a thing, or
I have no idea.
they're still doing that.
The
but-
guy that made that documentary, I don't think works for AL.com anymore. I think he kind of branched out.
Well, dude, I thought it was
Spread his
I
wings
thought it
a
was
little
such a
bit.
cool thing, man. Especially like in preface to this is kind of the first time we've had to sit down and
The guy that did that is a phenomenal videographer.
yeah.
Jannard Archibald.
Well, shout out Jannard.
Yeah, he's. I built him a really sweet CB650 cafe racer, crazy monster machine.
Well, this documentary was really cool, and I'll put some. I'm going to show that video. I'm just going to edit it into this podcast. But in that, man, you talked about how you kind of started your shop, and I guess you're not allowed to cough, dude. You can't cough on the podcast. You're ruining everything. I'm kidding. But once you, I guess, got into tooling on bikes and working on bikes and stuff, at what point did you decide, hey, man, I think I might start my own little garage thing and maybe start taking orders and helping other people build stuff?
It started pretty slow. I've been an elevator mechanic for as long as I can remember, so I was working full time, and then me and a bunch of buddies, we all had bikes, and we would get together in what we called Motorcycle Mondays, and it was just us drinking beer, trying to avoid responsibility on a Monday night.
Motorcycle Monday.
Yeah.
Just look at your bike and drink beer.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we just kind of, like I've had welding machines and tools. I've been around fabrication and stuff in my work trade forever. So I've already had most everything I needed anyways to build a bike. So one night we were just drunk, and I took a bandsaw and literally cut my motorcycle in half in the garage. I was like, I'm going to build a chopper, and just went yoink and cut it in half.
What bike was it that you cut in half?
It was that Yamaha.
Oh, it was this
Virago.
Yamaha. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in that video, you talked about one bike in particular that you were like, I've rebuilt this bike like 20 times.
It's that one.
It's this one. Okay.
Yeah. It's been like 9 colors and a couple of frame differences and different front ends and things.
Well, I guess it's a good bike to
I
play
cut
around
my
on.
teeth on it. Yeah, because I didn't care about messing it up. I just like, it's a Yamaha Virago. Like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's worth like $300 in a 12-pack.
Do you see anybody else that's ever like chopped out a Virago the way you did? Or
Yeah, there's a couple out there that I saw that kind of gave me the green light. You know, I saw some pictures on the internet. I was like, oh, that's all I have to do is cut this, add this, and weld that together, and we're done.
because it's like the engine is like, if anybody's ever seen a Virago, it's almost like the engine is like kind of what holds the frame together in a way.
It's called a stressed member, I think. And the frame is the motor.
The frame is the motor.
It's the structural integrity.
So if
of
you take the
everything.
motor out, then the frame is 2 pieces basically.
It's just one small, tiny frame that weighs as much as a bicycle, and it's pretty flexible when it's not bolted to the bike. You could pretty much break it in half.
Where did you get it originally?
I don't even remember the dude's name. I was living in New Orleans, doing God knows what at the time, and somebody paid me some money to like help them build a shed, and they had this Yamaha in the backyard.
You're just like, hey man, you do anything with that
He was
bike?
like, yeah, what are you doing with that? And he was like, I think he wanted like $200 or $300 for it, which I don't think I actually ever gave him.
So you got a free bike basically.
I don't know.
This bike
man.
that is like
the
shaped your entire future.
the me that you were sitting here with, and the me that lived in New Orleans at that time, I don't even know that guy. I don't even remember what I was doing most of the time.
Are you from New Orleans?
No,
Or
I'm
did you
from
grow-
here.
You're from here.
I was just
okay.
living there trying to be a jazz boy,
Okay.
trying to play that jazz music.
Well, you talked about hopping trains and stuff. I don't know anybody that's actually like, I don't know. I don't know anything about hopping trains, like legit, like jumping on like box cars, like
Yeah,
what you
just
see
riding
in like.
places. Usually me and my dog and a banjo, sometimes a bicycle. I carry any variation of things.
What makes you want to do that? Like,
I was at a festival, I don't even know, I mean, a long time ago. It's called Best Friends Day in Richmond, Virginia. And I'd already been kind of like doing the vagabond musician thing, driving around in a van. So
Yeah.
I'd already driven around the country probably like 6 times in a van with a bunch of dirty bluegrass players. And then we were at this festival, and there was these other bluegrass players that were riding freight trains. And I was like, man, I think I need to do that. And when they're like, I infiltrated their friend group.
they
Met-
show you the ropes.
Yeah,
Like,
like
okay, this is what you do. and this
Shook
is-
hands with everybody, and I was like, I think I really want to do what you're doing. And then I did it.
All right, so give me freight train hopping 101, or at least when you were doing it. I guess things have changed, or maybe things haven't changed. Maybe
I'm sure it's still the
the
same.
train industry is like the most like unchanged industry in the world. I think.
People see it as super glamorous, but really you're just walking a lot.
Walking
And just
a lot.
sitting in the woods a fucking lot. You're just sitting there for like 10 hours. And
Dude,
then,
I got off on a tangent watching like these YouTube dudes, and they were kind of doing the same thing. They're like hop trains a lot, and a lot of it, they're pretty sophisticated. They've got their apps on their phones and stuff, and so
Well,
they
yeah.
know.
back then, I don't think I even had a cell phone.
Well, dude, these guys were sitting in the woods at some point in the video, and they're waiting for another train. And as soon as the train comes by, you hear one person yelling out all the numbers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the other
yeah.
person's writing it down.
You can call in to like the hotline and type in train car numbers, and it'll
Tell you where they're going.
Yeah, well, if there's something in there, it's like they're tracking numbers basically, so you can
Okay.
like, tell where that package is destined to go.
And so
It
then you
won't
can
tell you
decide if you
exactly.
want to jump on that train or not. I
Right?
guess.
Yeah, it's got to have rideables, like train cars that are safe-ish to ride.
Safe-ish to ride.
Box cars are sketchy as hell because sometimes the doors automatically lock if they slam closed.
Oh, so you get locked in there?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, so what else can you ride on if you're not on a box car? I mean, you got these big tanker.
The grainers are pretty good because they have porches on both sides of them.
Okay.
Like where the grainer kind of comes down at a point.
Is
There's
that
a
the
little
thing that
porch.
looks like a big tank?
Yeah, but it's the big white ones. It's kind of square shaped and it triangulates down to the bottom where like the hopper would let all the grain out.
Okay, so you have like a little porch area where you can like jump on and
You just hang out
and
right
just
there.
chill out.
Yeah, set the sleeping bag out, open up you a bottle of whatever it is, and
Dude,
chill.
that's so wild, man. What was the first time you ever had the kahunas to go jump on a train? I guess when you met these people.
Yeah, I don't.
These
and
vagrants at this this festival that you're
the
at.
worst experience of my life too was the first time because we were in Virginia and there like a hurricane or something had just hit the coast or was about to hit the coast. And then there was also an earthquake that happened somewhere right around in that same week.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
Combo hurricane earthquake in
Something.
Virginia?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. We were at that point. I think we had made it to the coast,
Okay.
and I don't know what we were doing, but I remember distinctly having a party with no power with like a bunch of strangers called the Earthquakes and Hurricanes Party.
Okay.
And we went to this grocery store and bought like, those high gravity nasty beers called Hurricanes. They're like,
I don't know if I do.
they're like cheaper than Steel Reserve.
Are they in like the big 40 bottles?
They
Or
come,
just,
yeah, they come in all kinds of
They
stuff.
come in okay.
but
Okay.
If you know what a Steel Reserve is,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that,
Classic Steel
but
Reserve.
way worse.
That's low on the totem pole, brother.
Yeah, they're like 10% alcohol, like just made to fuck you up. So
Not to taste good.
we bought an entire shopping cart of Earthquakes and Hurricanes, which are both cheap malt liquors, and had this huge party right during the whole thing. But then we got on the train after the party, and we got on it was a UPS train, and we were sitting on the wrong side of it where the wind and rain could hit you. And
Okay.
that fucking hurricane came, and we were like bundled under a tarp, like in 70-mile-per-hour winds, and
Oh, my
just
gosh.
completely exposed. It was terrible
On a train.
on a train going like 70 miles an hour.
Dude, those things get derailed, man. I've seen like videos like tornadoes and stuff like hitting a train and just knocking it off. It doesn't happen all the time, but
Yeah.
dude, that's crazy, dude. I don't think I'd ever try to hop on a moving train.
What's weird is I'm 35 years old, and I'm sitting at my house yesterday, I think. Day before yesterday, I was just like, it'd be really nice.
Just go hop on a train.
Just go disappear for like a week, because I've got so much shit going on right now that I've been like real overwhelmed and stressed out again. I was like, I'm just gonna disappear for a week and like turn my phone off.
Well, what do you got going on in your life right now? What's so busy?
Well, I finally got caught up on the orders with the Dixiana stuff. They shipped out, I don't know, a couple of days ago. Finally.
Yeah, man, you do T-shirts. You got like you make your own like custom jewelry that you like weld and stuff. And I saw something. It was pretty cool. It was like maybe like a mantle to a dog or an owner's dog or something. It was like maybe it was your dog. Oh, okay.
That was Lucy. She rode freight trains with me for years, and she's been to more places than most people have been.
Yeah,
Like everywhere. That dog went with me everywhere. She passed away, and I made that little
like a little memorial thing.
something I could just kind of hold on to.
So most of the orders through the Dixiana thing is it like, what are you doing in the height of that company when you got it started? Did you just have like basically a garage where you're just like tooling on bikes, and then it started to progress into like, hey, I could sling some T-shirts here and there?
Yeah, I've most of the time during all that I had a full-time job, and then during the Biltwell People's Champ thing and COVID and shit happened, I lost my full-time job and just went full-time at the bike shop.
You said you're an elevator mechanic?
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of a really unique, rad job, I feel like.
Man, are
you the one that climbs up in the elevator shaft and like...
I do all that sketchy shit.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about how elevators work. I just pray to God that I don't like die in one when it...
You were statistically safer in an elevator than pretty much anything else that moves. They have redundant safety systems.
Yeah,
on
that's what I've
everything,
heard.
so-
Like, there's no way, like in the movies and stuff, you see like an elevator that's just like plummeting down to the bottom of the
Nah,
shaft.
there's
just
just
doesn't happen.
no way that would ever happen, really. I mean, I'm sure it does. I've seen some videos from like third world countries where they don't have any kind of safety standard that are pretty sketchy. But
How long have you been doing that, or how did you even get into that?
well,
Elevator mechanic.
I'm like a third generation elevator mechanic. My grandfather owned this company, Vulcan Elevator.
Okay,
This hat's from
dude,
the
that's a
60s.
sick hat too, man.
This
That's
is
awesome.
like my granddad probably made these in like 1970 or something.
What's another elevator company like ThyssenKrupp? Is that like a elevator company?
They're technically a German steel company, but they do elevators as well.
Okay, so it's like Hitachi. They just slap their name on everything.
Yeah, they just do whatever. They buy a bunch of shit and sell it.
So your your grandfather, Vulcan Elevator, did he
Yeah.
start the company, or he just started working there?
He started this company.
Started that company,
And
okay.
then my dad inherited that company and changed the name to Alliance Elevator. So as a teenager, I worked for my dad in the summers and whenever I was not at school or, any of that kind of stuff. And then as a young man, I was working for him, and then I decided to fuck off and move to Colorado to work on ski lifts and snowboard every day.
Okay, there you go.
And then
That sounds awesome.
then that turned into meeting a bunch of people play music, and then we just started driving around the country, led back to the trains. Then I finally come back to Alabama, and I go back to work for him for a while. Housing market kind of crashed, and a bunch of he ended up shutting it down and going to work for somebody else. Then I went and worked for another company for a while and got tired of them fucking me over. And then now, as of 9 months ago, I started my own elevator company.
Really? Vulcan Elevator or no?
Yes.
Oh, it's still Vulcan. Oh, okay, sick. So
Yeah.
you brought it full circle. Yeah, that's awesome.
Full circle. I am the new Vulcan Elevator.
Dude, hook me up with one of those hats, man. That's awesome.
This is the only one in existence.
Okay, you gotta step that up, man.
Oh, well, I'm gonna make some.
There's a
new
fan
ones.
base for the elevator.
This is
business.
this is the real deal vintage. I'm gonna make some replicas.
Okay.
And I'll sell you a replica.
Oh, that's an OG hat.
This is OG 1970. Like my grandfather
Oh,
had these
snap.
made. I found it brand new in pristine condition.
Dude, it's in pristine
at his
condition.
house in a box after he passed away. I was like, I'm stealing this hat.
Definitely, dude.
So I take good care of it.
So now this podcast has become an elevator episode.
Yeah,
I don't know how elevators work, really. I've ridden elevators my whole life.
Hell,
but
half that yellow bike is like a bunch of elevator parts. From
Elevator parts.
from like 1905.
it's like scrap metal and
Yeah, it's
just
all this
random
cool
stuff.
brass shit that came off of early 1900s Otis elevators. That bike was covered in it because it all looked super cool.
Well, you say you're slam, so I guess the elevator business is good. Everybody needs a good elevator. You know what I mean?
It's got its ups and downs.
It's got its ups. You had that one locked and loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been okay, honestly. It really does have its ups and downs. It's feast or famine, and that's why.
What's a typical service call for an elevator? Hey, we got a family of 4 stuck on floor 12. Can you go rescue them?
I don't really do a lot of the commercial stuff anymore. I kind of ventured into mostly residential and like handicap accessibility stuff
Okay.
because it's
The broad range of elevators that you think about.
I mean,
yeah.
I've got experience in all of it, but that's the stuff that to me it's easier, it's safer, and the turnaround's faster.
Sure.
You're like a commercial elevator job might be a year, of install.
I can't
And
imagine
most
most
of
an
the-
easy process, especially in like a big building.
Residential stuff, I can do an elevator in like 2 days, 3 days.
How many people have residential elevators
A
in our
lot.
city? We got a lot of those?
Yeah, there's probably one within 3 blocks of here.
What?
They're
Do you do the chair thing that goes
Yeah,
up the
yeah.
stairs? You do a lot of those?
Oh, yeah.
What do you call those?
It's just a stair chair.
Just stair chair.
Yeah.
Stair chair. Well, when you're not working on elevators and you get time to work on bikes, I guess that was it, man. I can imagine working on the bikes and having orders back up, and that seems to be your passion. It's like tooling on bikes and stuff.
It's one of them.
One of them, yeah. And you said music was obviously a big part of your life. What bands have you played in? Anything I would have heard of?
The most recent band is called Steel City Jug Slammers, and it's like bluegrass.
Yeah, okay.
kinda.
I've heard of them. Definitely. I actually ran into my buddy Zach Austin started this thing. I don't know if he's still doing it. Hopefully he is. But he started this like Nashville Nights thing, once a month. And forgive me, but I forget the name of the dude that's like the lead singer of that band.
Of which one?
The Jug Slammers. He's
Ramblin'
the
Ricky,
main guy.
Ramblin' Ricky Tate.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I met another dude then. There was some other guy that I thought was part of the Jug Slammers.
Oh,
but I forget. He has a big mustache.
Jared.
Jared. He's big into
Atkins.
fishing and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
Jared Atkins.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
he's a semi-professional bass fisherman.
Dude. Yeah. So, Jared, if you're listening, take me fishing, please.
Hey, he will. He was at my house yesterday. We had band practice last night.
Okay. He told me at that night, we kind of ran into each other, and I was like, hey, I think I know who you are, blah, blah, blah. He's like,
We have
we're
a
getting
show
the Jug Slammers back together.
Yeah, we're
because y'all
playing.
hadn't been together, I guess, for a while.
a few years. We weren't full lineup anyways. We were just kind of a revolving door.
I noticed it kind of changed a lot because I think I
Oh.
follow you guys, and I was like, okay, every time I see a picture, it's a different set of dudes.
Yeah, it's just whoever wants to come. Like, we don't care.
We can play the.
We all have children, or most of us have children and, jobs and responsibilities now. We're not a bunch of young men, so it's just kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah,
To
sure.
get
Well,
out.
you can.
Yeah,
and
get
stuff.
out, have a couple beers, play some music. Maybe someone shows up, maybe they don't. We're playing at Ferris, though, soon, somewhere at the end of the month.
Sweet. Okay.
The new one, the Avondale one.
Yeah. I think we've been there once, but I think they've been under construction on the outdoor portion, like building a stage and stuff out there, which I imagine they'll have live music.
Yeah, we're supposed to be playing there in the next couple of weeks. So,
Dude, okay,
hopefully
sweet.
they've got it fucking set up.
So that'll be the first show of the Jug Slammers in a hot minute, I guess.
Yeah,
Or at least
probably,
with the full lineup.
with the original lineup. We've had a few different. Hell, I mean, there was times where I wasn't in it at all because I was just busy. I spend a lot of time on the road with work, and I have a kid too. So
Now you mentioned Ramblin' Ricky Tate. Is that your brother?
yeah, that's my brother.
Okay, because you guys favor each other a lot. Like when I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
photos and stuff.
That's my little brother. He's 2 years younger.
So your only sibling?
No, I got 3 more.
You got 3 more. Okay.
I'm the oldest though. They're all up and coming.
All right. Well, shout out to the entire Tate family.
It's, Bate.
Bate.
Tate is I don't even know where that came from, honestly. So I think somebody.
Okay, so he goes by Tate. I didn't just like screw that up.
No,
You're
yeah,
Stephen Bate, Ricky
he's-
Tate.
His nick. His not.
That's
not
just his nickname or something?
It's a total fabrication. Well, the stage name. We all have. We
have stage names.
Our whole band has like stupid stage names that are like that have stuck throughout the years. Like the bass player is Washtub J because he played a washtub.
plays
bass.
a washtub bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that makes sense. Okay.
Mine was. It's changed a couple of times. I think the last one was Rooster Po' Boy,
Rooster Po' Boy. Dude, I feel that. That's cool.
cock meat sandwich.
Dude, you can put that on a hat, man. That's a hat right there.
Yeah, I don't know. We just have fun with it. It's just like a whole. I don't know. It's like almost like cosplay. We're just trying to have a good time, play old timey music, enjoy
Sure.
something.
Well, you guys have the full get up. I see the vests and the old timey like golfer hats and
Yeah, man.
and,
We
and the
want-
slacks and everything.
It's like time travel, man. You walk into the bar, you're like, "What the fuck did I just walk into?"
Right
It's just
on.
1920.
Well, I mean, when you
That's
got
the
when you got a
vibe,
dude
man.
sitting there playing the jug and you, like you said, the washtub bass.
Yeah, we got it. It's all just about having a good time.
Well, that's awesome, man.
And we've all of us have been friends like since we were children too. Everybody in the band, for the most part, have been friends like since we were small.
Any other dudes in the band into bikes like you or doing their own like
Yeah,
fab shop?
Corey has like entirely too many hot rods and like vintage. He's really big into vintage cars. He's got like Model A's and stuff like that. He has like one car. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like one of 6 in the entire world left.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he just like stumbled upon it here in Alabama.
Of all places.
Yeah, for like nothing, and then now he's restoring it.
Dude, that's cool. But you don't remember what kind of?
Dude, I
Car it is.
have no idea.
I'm not a car dude, so I
My
probably
memory
wouldn't know
is-
anyways.
It's a little questionable. 20s, my 20s was it was a good time. Let's say that.
Oh, that's cool, man. So the bike thing, you're trying to kind of keep that going, I guess. And you said orders are backing up.
Well, I'm caught up now.
You're caught up. Okay.
What happened is, I took in
Those
a bunch
IPAs,
of,
man, they'll get to you.
I know. I took in a bunch of orders and I was selling a bunch of stuff and everything was good there for a while. And then when I moved my shop, a bunch of, I don't know, just
Now, why'd you move your shop? Is that the one? Okay, in the video, People of Alabama, Labor of Love, or One Man's Treasure, I guess.
yeah, that was actually That was my intermediate from I was in Nashville for a couple of years. I worked for another motorcycle company up there and had my own building shop in Nashville.
Okay, so all that was filmed in Nashville.
No, that was filmed in Pinson.
Okay.
That was right when I first moved back to Birmingham, and I'd moved everything into my buddy's barn.
Okay, because there
It
was
was
like all these aerial shots of this barn, and
Yeah,
you're
I was
like
like-
out in the hills. And
Yeah,
I'm
I was
like,
like-
that's a pretty sick setup, man.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's a pretty sweet spot. He's got it made out there, that's for sure. And I was just renting like half of the building, like
Okay.
one side of it. So, and that was then I found a building in Irondale, and I was renting that for a while up until last year, and then, or maybe last year before last. And I rented that for a while, and everything was really fine, but I just got to a point where I just wanted to be at home, you know. So I built a little shop at my house,
Where is home? Where do you live?
Center Point.
Center Point. Okay, yeah, you're not far from here then. So you just have a shop out in the back of your house that you're working out of.
Yeah, so now I just walk outside. I can like
That's nice.
go over there and like work and then go home. But I had so much stuff in storage for so long that like
I was about to
didn't
say,
know where
man,
anything
somebody in your
was.
profession,
when you say
I can imagine you have a lot of stuff. my friend.
dude, I have so much stuff. And when you say the word move, all your friends disappear.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like moving things, I mean, it is such a nightmare trying to move all that shit. And it's all heavy,
oh yeah, well,
like
it's motorcycles.
motorcycles and tool, like the lathe. My lathe weighs as much as a damn Volkswagen, probably, like a Beetle at least.
I think you mentioned that in the video. You were like, I didn't know how to use a lathe at the time, so I used my buddy's lathe. What do you do with a lathe? Like, I'm not a fabricator, so I don't make
spin
stuff out of
stuff.
metal. But I can't imagine a homemade lathe. Like, what are you building out of a lathe?
Well, you can make a lathe with a lathe, maybe.
You build a lathe with a lathe, but it's just like a spinning rod. You take like a.
It's
block
like
of-
it's got a big metal chuck on it, like a drill kind of, but it's really big and it holds metal in it, and then you use tooling to shape it, and
Okay.
metal that into like cylindrical type pieces, like making a wheel spacer, like if you've ever taken the wheel off your bike.
I've
or
never
something.
done that, so I have no idea
All right,
what
there's
that looks like or
there's
how to do that.
Something in here in this room has been made.
I've got a lot of
with
stuff. There's probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything in this metal fab down here.
Well, anything cylindrical,
Okay.
pretty much.
So instead of like just OEMing your parts, you can just build them from scratch.
Yeah, and then I got into like the metal casting and stuff too, so I can make the part out of wood or clay or a mixture of wood and clay and whatever, and then I can cast that part into metal and then machine it down as well.
Dude, that's cool. My coworker's actually really into that. He does like aluminum casting. I guess you can find cans and stuff everywhere.
Yeah, all those pictures that were on my Instagram, all that jewelry looking stuff, that's all just casted in aluminum in my backyard.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Hell, I even make those stones. They're not even real.
Pull that up. Go back one.
I make those stones out of polymer clay from
You scroll
Hobby
back up.
Lobby.
Let's look at some of this stuff. It's pretty sick. You got belt buckles, dude. Look at that.
Heck yeah, man. Gotta have some belt buckles. Yeah, you go down a little bit. That intake manifold, down a little more.
On the left right there? Or
No, down a little further. Down one more. That right there. That's the first like intricate casting piece that I did. And that's the intake manifold for that People's Champ bike.
Okay.
Because originally it had 2 carburetors on it, so I made my own intake manifold to run a Harley carb on it.
Do you get like bonus points for casting your own parts versus somebody that just like finds a bunch of random parts and just assembles a bike versus you who's like really doing the
I don't
nitty gritty?
I don't think I bought really anything for that bike except for the tires and wheel components. I pretty much made everything else from scratch.
But you said you got disqualified, so you made it to the final 6. I don't know if this is a sore subject, but
Yeah, it's fucking politics and bullshit. Like they made up some stupid rule since it was the pandemic that like they were like usually you take the bikes to California to Born Free and then they're judged in person.
so you have to ride it there, or
Well,
you just have to get it there.
Take it there,
Okay.
and then the bike has to run. While it's there, it has to run.
Sure,
So like
fair.
whatever, you ride the motorcycle to the event from wherever. But so what they did is instead is sent a camera crew to everybody at different intervals, and I was behind schedule because I cut my fucking finger off.
Dude, what happened there,
I got
man?
sucked into a sander, man, trying to finish that goddamn bike in a hurry.
How much of your finger did you lose?
I don't know. I mean,
That's not that much.
eh,
Did you get to the bone?
yeah, it ground the bone
Oh
down.
my god!
That's why it's shorter now.
Oh, dude.
They sewed it all back on, but the bone was like 3/8 of an inch shorter.
And that was from a belt sander?
Yeah, like a disc sander. It
Disc
Stuck my
sander.
hand into it.
And you just couldn't get your hand out.
Oh yeah, I got it out. Like
After you lost your...
it
Was
went
it
in
just
there
that
and was
finger,
like-
your ring finger?
It was these two fingers. That's why that one's all fat too. But it went. I yanked it out, and it was just like, yeah, it was a disaster.
Dude.
So that set me back, and then I was behind schedule. But then when it all came out, they were like, okay, we're going to send a film crew to everybody's, like, to your shop, and we're going to film the thing, and your motorcycle has to run while the film crew is at your shop, or you're disqualified.
Now, was that the same deadline as if you had to take it to Born Free?
No, it was later. We had some extra time, and which I guess I don't know. I was fucking recovering and busy and whatever. But what happened is they set up the scheduling to where I was like the first person on the list to be visited. So my deadline was, say, Monday when the film crew showed up, and then they had to fly to everybody else. So some of the guys got an extra 2 weeks
Okay.
to finish their work, while me, the one that was behind, knowingly behind, I got put on the front of the list. So they showed up, and I was still putting the damn bike together, and I got it all put together, tried to start it, and then the damn Bendix spring shot out of the starter and jammed up into a bunch of gears inside the case.
So it wouldn't crank.
Yeah, and I couldn't try to bump start it either because it was, we
Jammed up, yeah.
we pushed it down the hill, but it was just like grinding a gear into it even more. So,
Damn.
and then I took the damn thing, they left, after we filmed, they left, I took the bike apart and sent them a video of it running like 30 minutes later. I was like, I took it apart, it was just a spring, it's running. And then they still called me and were like, well, we're just going to have to disqualify you. I was like, all right, you fucking son of a bitch.
But, dude, man.
It's just so your best friend can win.
Yeah.
Which is what happened. Some dude built this motor. It's like, well, he didn't even fucking build it. Somebody else built it. Technically, I think he built some of it. And it's, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. That's why I've been kind of burned out on it. Like the whole chopper motorcycle scene's like a shitload of ass-kissing fake shit.
Okay.
I mean, with anything.
Yeah, I mean, with anything. Yeah.
Anything. Once you get into that whole like scene
That
of
culture,
anything, like
yeah.
musicians, there's going to be a bunch of fucking assholes. Like comic book collectors, there's going to be a fucking bunch of assholes. Like there's assholes everywhere. We all got one.
Right.
So I don't know. I just kind of got pissed off and burned out on it.
So then you moved into the, I guess you got an invite to go to the Born Free show. Was that the next year or maybe 2 years after?
No, it was like a day after.
A day after.
After the day or second day after I got disqualified, they called and asked me if I wanted to do it.
Okay. Well, I guess just being in that top 6 kind of put you maybe on some other people's radar.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this dude knows how to build
I
bikes.
shouldn't have agreed to do it. I knew I didn't have time, and I was literally like, when they called me.
It's hard to say no, man.
I know.
You got to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like, fuck, they're never going to ask me again. Now they're definitely not going to ask me again because I fucking screwed the pooch. And
No,
didn't
that's
finish
not
it.
true, man. Come on. They're going to listen to this. No, I'm just kidding.
They've invited some people back, but we'll see. I don't really know that fuck California. It's far as hell away.
Yeah. Pretty far.
It's like,
So that is out in California. What am I thinking? I guess I'm thinking of like the Smoky Mountain Chopper Fest. That's just like a big party, right? That's not like a contest
that's like
or anything.
a chopper camp out.
Okay. So the Born Free show happens on the West Coast. They reached out to you and like, hey, do you want to build a bike?
Yeah, I tried.
And you were like, yes.
I was like, hell yeah! This is the single coolest thing that's ever happened to me. You know?
So did you just take the bike that you already had and just break it down and start over? Or
No,
you just like, no, I'm going to start with a new bike?
I got a shovel head project from another friend of mine, which I still owe him money on. Actually,
You mentioned 2 people so far you still owe money to.
Dude, the world is tough, man. When you're trying to make moves
world's
like that,
tough,
and when
yeah.
you're like, I don't know, it's not that I like meant to do these things, you know. You're just like, when you're trying to get something done, and I don't know, life happens fast.
Life happens fast, yeah.
You're just like, fuck, it's been 2 years, and I still haven't done shit. But yeah, so I got bike from my buddy and tore it all apart, started on it. I mean, I got a lot of it done. I just kind of gave up and threw in the towel. When I realized that I wasn't going to finish it, I just told him, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to finish it.
How far out? I mean, what did you have left to get done when when the deadline was closing in, I guess?
I still had a bunch of fabrication, small stuff, like all the little things to make it like functional.
I feel like that's the hardest part, man. You know, it's like
Yeah,
all the electronics and stuff that bewilders me. Or like
the little stuff is like the time consuming shit. And then also I still had to have it all chromed and polished. And then I still had to paint the bike and put the bike together and drive to California.
does it have to be chromed and polished and painted, or can it just run? Or do you not stand a chance?
To be a Born Free, you don't even have to have internals in it. You don't even have to run.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, you can bring like a fucking cake-shaped motorcycle or some shit. As long as it looks like a motorcycle, they'll let you in. Yeah, I think there's people been at Born Free, like probably Juan Born Free with motors that didn't even have pistons and shit in the engine.
So no running aspect to the bike at all. Just an idea of what the bike might look like when it's done.
We're just cake decorators
We're just
like really cool cake
Oh,
decorators.
okay. No.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I ran out of time. I ran out of steam. I ran out of money. I just ran out of everything.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just like, fuck, man. Like, I'd literally just spent an entire year working 8-hour days at a job and then working all night till like midnight or later for like an entire year straight.
Are you the only one doing this? You ever have like buddies come and give you a hand or help you out?
They just fuck shit up and break shit or stare at you and drink beer.
Hey, I could do that, you know, and ask you a bunch of
Hiring people
bogus
also
questions.
costs money, and I don't know that I've ever really had any of that extra money.
Well, yeah, who does? But I mean, going into the fabrication part of it, and just seeing some of the stuff that I've watched you do on YouTube. I mean, it looks like you know what you're doing. I mean, you're playing the part. But how did you learn how to, like, you know, I don't know how to weld. Like, how did you learn how to weld? Or weld a bike that you would feel safe riding on that you think is not just going to break apart on the highway and kill you?
Well, that's a loaded question and kind of relative, because some people's welds are what they call safe and some aren't. But
I know the whole world of welding it's beyond me. You know what I mean? Because you can weld something with like a lower voltage, you know, Harbor Freight welder.
It might look okay.
That might look okay.
It might hold up for 2 weeks, but at some point it's probably
you hit a
break.
speed bump or something. It's just like
I've
breaks.
never had any like super bad failures on anything that I've ever built, but I overbuild everything. So,
but you pretty much self-taught as far as like.
Technically, yeah.
Or maybe what you learned on the elevator thing.
YouTube University.
Yeah, there you go.
I went to welding school in high school for 1 year, like my senior year or something. I went to welding school, but I'd already like been welding. My dad had a welding machine, so I learned some technical stuff at the school, basically.
It stuck with you.
And then I learned how to TIG weld from YouTube, like literally just watching YouTube videos.
So what is the difference between, and we're getting off on a tangent here for a little bit. They're going to be really boring. But TIG welding, at least to my understanding, is where you have the rod, the electrical current.
You're adding filler rod manually by hand.
Okay. And then MIG welding, is that the copper spool?
Well, it's copper colored, but it's still steel wire.
Steel wire that's actually shooting out, that's creating the arc and actually melting on contact or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And it's surrounded by argon or whatever. I don't know.
That one's called...
what is that called?
That one's 75-25 argon CO2 for MIG welding, and then...
MIG welding.
For
MIG welding, TIG welding.
TIG welding is full 100% argon or helium.
Okay. So I'm thinking of stick welding then, where it's like a...
Stick welding is just a stick.
It's just a big rod. And then you're using that to like basically like solder.
No, it's a stick that's the electrode and it's covered in flux, and it like
as you touch it to the surface, it creates the current.
arc and then deposits metal. Into the.
Which is the easiest? If I was going to start welding, what would you recommend?
The one with the push button, the MIG.
MIG, okay.
Yeah, just buy it.
Because that's what you see at Harbor Freight everywhere is like the MIG welders.
The spray and pray welder.
But you can't. So you hear a dude's using those welders to weld bikes or something that you're actually riding on.
Oh, I've ridden a lot of miles.
Is that safe? Is that like
Yeah,
a
no,
bad
there's
idea?
nothing safe about choppers. Like half of them have mechanical fucking rear brakes only, and no front brakes at all, and it fucking weighs as much as a fucking tractor. There is nothing safe about it. That's why it's so
It's awesome.
thrilling.
Yeah.
The
Chance that
ladies.
you'll get killed. But if I want to die, I want to die because it's my own fault or because
my
of my
own-
own error. I don't
my
want to
own
die because the
fucking-
handlebars fall off.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Your own foolish fucking ambition of being so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I look so fucking badass when I died, bro.
That's what you're telling everybody after death.
Yeah, fucking wherever the fuck you end up at. Yeah, no, don't do that shit. Don't weld shit that's motorcycle related with a low voltage welder.
Okay. Good.
This is
Advice,
This
yeah.
is a public service.
Public
announcement.
disclaimer. Yeah. Well, what are you riding these days, man? I know you. I was surfing through your Instagram and I saw like some video that you posted where a dude's driving off with a flatbed trailer, got the chopper on the back. I guess it's
Yeah.
one of the bikes that you are.
I haven't
Raffled
ridden a motorcycle in probably over a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not on road, anyways. I ride dirt bikes every weekend.
Where do you ride? That's
Everywhere. All over the damn place. Dirt bikes are like two-stroke dirt bikes.
cool. Two-stroke dirt
particularly.
bikes are cool. I had a KTM for a little while. Me and my brother tried to get into like dirt bikes, but
You want one? You
uh,
want to buy one? I got one for sale.
maybe. We went and rode.
I'll let you ride it.
My parents live up in Trussville area, and so they let me house our. I bought like an old. Who's green? That's Kawasaki, right?
Kawasaki, yeah.
So I had a Kawasaki, and then the orange bike was a KTM, and so we went out and rode. I bought it off like Craigslist or something. I was trying to get my brother to get into dirt bikes, and I mixed the two-cycle mix too heavy, I guess, or I don't know what you call it, where it was too much oil, so it was like
Oh,
spitting out
smoking
shit
everywhere
and
and
smoking like hell, which two-strokes smoke like crazy anyways.
if they're not dialed in right, yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little bit of smoke, but not.
Well,
should
this
be
one
a
was
lot.
smoking like crazy, dude. And my brother was just turned off by it immediately. And, so, I don't know. Our dirt bike thing didn't last long. But we grew up riding dirt bikes. And then we kind of had a phase once we got a little bit older, got out of dirt bikes. And I was like, man, let's get back into dirt bikes. We need something fun to do.
That's what happened to me, man. I went like 15 years without riding dirt bikes, probably. And then I went back into it full force. That's all I care about.
Dude, that's awesome.
When it comes to motorcycles, I only ride dirt bikes.
Are two-strokes harder and harder to find nowadays? I mean,
No,
are they
man.
still out there everywhere?
I got a brand fucking new KTM. Electric start fuel injected two-stroke.
Because all I hear, you watch any videos online. I was watching some dude. He was in the Kona skate park. It was like a Fox Racing shoot. This dude's he's on an electric bike, which is crazy. He was on an electric dirt bike.
Electric dirt bikes.
It sounded so weird. He was just like doing all these jumps. And I was like, why does it sound so strange?
It's like an RC car.
And it was like it was an electric motor.
Yeah, they're
and then the
badass.
next dude jumped on a four-stroke, which is what you hear everywhere. Like anytime that we would go out and ride, it's just like four-strokes everywhere. That like heavy. Blah, 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 blah.
KTM never stopped making two-strokes. Neither did Yamaha. They still make and sell YZ250s and 125s and.
I thought all the tree huggers were like getting onto him. Like, no, you can't do that anymore. You got to go to four-stroke. But
Four-strokes.
There's still some companies that are still.
Four strokes.
So you can buy like a 2022 two-stroke engine.
Yeah, you can buy a 2022 KTM right now. Fuel injected, oil injected, electric start, like badass machine. A 300. Like,
So you don't have to do the premix or
fuck
any of
no,
that
you
stuff.
just put
Yeah.
that shit in the tank and like go.
Just go.
And it's
Okay.
like two strokes are the best bikes for like woods riding.
I hear you get more power and
Yeah,
like they're just
especially
overall.
KTM's. They're like tractors. They just kind of like they'll climb anything.
Now, why is and maybe you can speak more to the technical aspect, but why is a two-stroke engine better than a four-stroke?
Because it makes power twice as many times. Two-stroke engines have two strokes. Four-stroke engines have four strokes.
Okay.
So you get you get double the power stroke versus a four-stroke.
Well, then why go away from that? Why is the world moving to four-stroke engines?
Because burning oil is not
Oh, so it's all
EPA
about like
friendly.
just being like
dirty
okay.
and emissions and shit. But I mean, that was like KTM. That's why they went to they went to fuel injected 2-stroke so they can like dial in that mix, to get it as like EPA
As clean as
as
possible.
clean as possible.
Because you have all these yahoos out there. Dude, my coworker showed me this thing. It was like from the 1980s. It's like this Tennessee mud run, and it's this old, video camcorder footage of all these dudes trying to cross this big creek. 3-wheelers everywhere. When 3-wheelers were a thing.
Those are like the most dangerous. Like
Those are the most dangerous.
choppers are dangerous, but fucking 3-wheelers
Three-wheelers,
are
dude.
so dangerous. I had one, and I probably ran over myself 10 times.
Yeah,
But yeah.
because they're so easy to flip.
Well, yeah. Then your
and
instinct is to put your foot down when it goes to tip, and then it gets sucked under the fucking tire,
yeah.
and you get sucked under it.
And plus, you have just one wheel on the front, so all the debris and stuff that you're riding through just comes straight back, plows into your shins.
Yeah, it's terrible. Whoever decided that was a good idea. Why?
3-wheelers, man.
I mean,
Dirt bikes.
I would definitely have a 2-stroke Honda 3-wheeler. If they were like somebody had one, like if I could find one, I'd buy it just so I could have it.
Just so you could have it.
Yeah, just like every once in a while, just like go outside and have a like dance with death, and then go inside and like, have dinner.
You say you're really into dirt bikes, so I mean, you ride around. I mean, is there good riding in Center Point? Y'all just ride the power lines? Or,
Oh fuck!
what do you
no.
guys do?
I take it to places and ride. There's a place called the Ridge that's really cool.
Yeah, the Ridge up in
It's like Springville.
Springville.
I think
Yeah.
what I like about the Ridge is because like old guys. Like if I was gonna go park somewhere or like go ride trails, the worst thing about being out there is there's like no bathroom.
Right. Yeah, the Ridge is kind of like a pay-to-play type deal.
There's
right?
a fucking restaurant.
It's a park. It's
there's
like
fucking bathrooms, concessions. Like you don't have to like wipe your ass with a sock.
That's fair.
You could just go use the bathroom. So like
You go out there and ride around.
You
Now, they
ride-
got hit by a tornado, didn't they? Like, didn't a bunch of their trails get mowed down? They had to go back out there with the tractor and like clean stuff up.
probably, I don't know.
I guess that was several years back. But yeah, that's where we went and rode. Was up at the Ridge.
I
And,
love that place.
it was
so,
cool.
Super awesome. It's so convenient too, man. Like I said, it was like having all of that in one place, like makes it the whole riding experience like more enjoyable to me instead of parking somewhere and then like I have to shit. Where am I gonna go?
Yeah. Oh,
Which like coming from me, fucking the hobo, like you know how many times I've had to do those things previously in my life, and like now I'm above that now.
I'm above that.
I'm not gonna do that. I put that behind me.
I've elevated myself. Yeah.
I'm not gonna shit in the woods anymore. God damn it.
Dang. Well, any thoughts about getting another bike soon or anything like that? Or are you pretty content with the dirt bike? Will there ever be a time where you're just like, I'm going to stay away from the street bikes?
I
Dangerous
just don't
as
want
hell.
to fucking die, man.
Yeah, that's it,
I have
dude.
a 5-year-old son, and like the biggest fear in my life is dying and leaving him without a dad,
Fair.
because that would suck.
Yeah, man.
Like, I fortunately have like the best father in the world, so I just want to like live up to that expectation. My dad rode motorcycles too, and then he quit riding when, so at some point early in my life because of the same reason. And I just like that didn't like register to me. But then
Yeah.
like a few years ago, I've had a few close calls, almost getting hit, and I've wrecked more. I've probably had 5 motorcycle wrecks.
Oh, wow, dude, really?
Yeah, and then you get to a point where you're like, one of these days you're not gonna get back up.
Dude. Oh, man, that's
Like,
crazy.
And especially riding choppers because we're all dumbasses and want to look cool. We're like wearing fucking Vans or
Yeah, Vans, little half
jeans,
shell
t-shirt,
helmet.
yeah, some stupid fucking novelty helmet that doesn't even
Doesn't do, not
have-
dot approved, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it says dot approved, but it ain't.
Oh, okay.
Like they're just novelty fucking helmets. All those sparkly, fancy helmets.
Yeah, but they're
like,
super, like, low profile, man. It's like wearing
Yeah.
a hat.
you look cool as shit till you're a fucking pile of fucking mush on the pavement.
So you said you've had some wrecks and some close calls?
Yeah. Hell, I had one last year.
What
Last time I
happened?
rode. Yeah, a fucking Birmingham cop pulled out in front of me and I guess didn't see me. He pulled out here. I slammed on my brakes, slid out into the middle of the median, and slid like 50 or 60 feet on my fucking leg. And he just kept on going.
He didn't even stop.
Fuck no, he didn't,
He didn't
even
even see
he didn't
you?
fucking see me. Hell no.
Oh, dude. Dude,
Sorry.
that is my biggest fear. Like, just
Even
a
if
crazy
he fucking,
road rash.
even if he did stop, it would have been my fault anyways.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing he kept going.
Yeah, I was like, get the fuck, go.
Dude. Oh,
Maybe like a
man.
nice innocent bystander will come fucking help me, not that asshole.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I think if I ever had like a big scare, I've ridden motorcycles for a long time, but never had anything too insane happen to me. Knock on wood. So I don't know. I feel like if I did, I would just like hang it up immediately. Like, nah, it's not worth dying
Dude,
over.
yeah,
You know?
it sucks, man. Like the fear gets instilled. I mean, like I've done so much dangerous shit. I do dangerous shit at work every day, but like that's in like a controlled environment, you know.
Sure.
I am in control. If I fuck up, it's on me. But some asshole fucking texting his McDonald's order
It's not paying attention. Runs
fucking
you off the
plows me
road.
off the fucking
Yeah,
road.
dude.
Like, why the fuck did I have to die for you to say fucking hey to fucking whoever?
Right.
Like, that shit can wait. Don't text and drive.
Don't text and drive. Another public service announcement. We're all about it tonight.
Fucking full of them.
Well, dude, it's good to hear that the Dixiana thing is kind of coming back online, and you said you like, you know, got all your orders filled and stuff. What's next for the company? I mean, it doesn't sound like you have a ton of free time, but I mean, if you had the ability to pursue everything that you wanted to do, are you trying to get more into like building bikes or tooling on bikes or?
I have some stuff up my sleeve. Currently trying, like, the big plan right now is, sorry, I'm probably either gonna build. Shit, Jesus, these damn beers,
Dude, they'll do it, man.
I got the bleeps. No, I'm probably gonna build a like open wheel hot rod kind of deal
Okay.
next, like, but like custom, like the way I build choppers, but a car.
What? Okay, what's an open wheeled hot rod? Is that what I'm picturing in my head? Like the
Just like
American graffiti, like old school, like
just like any like super old school, you know, skinny fucking spoke wheels, no front
I
brakes.
see the ones that have the like the open wheels on the front, and they have like a. It almost looks like a PT Cruiser or something on
yeah,
the back,
kind of,
kind of deal, like where they're like housed in this little.
yeah, some
You
shit
could fit like
that.
two people in there or something.
I want to build something like that. And I've also got it in my mind that I'm gonna make. I want to build a motorcycle, but like 100% from scratch.
Does
Not
it mean
like
you're gonna pour your own rubber and.
no, I mean like I'll buy a fucking tire.
No,
and,
dude,
like,
you can't buy tires.
and build some wheels and stuff because like that's what every manufacturer has done from like the dawn of time. They repurpose what they can,
yeah,
you know, or like use something from another industry. But I want to like I don't know. I want to like pour my own castings for the cases and the jugs and like I would basically want to build like the entire engine and shit from scratch.
okay.
Like everything, but like not to like some other company spec. Like people are like, oh, I built this Harley engine with like a bunch of shit. It's like, cool, it's still a Harley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I want to build like my own thing.
That's what I've always wondered. Like, what is the defining line between a true someone who builds bikes versus someone who assembles bikes? You know what I mean? And maybe there's not. Maybe that's a razor thin margin.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some really talented builders out there, and then there's a lot of people out there that get credit for things that they shouldn't get credit for.
Well, dude,
That's every industry, though.
I guess that's every industry.
It's everything. Like hell, there's terrible guitar players making millions of dollars a day.
Yeah, true that. I'm just musicians in general. Well, dude, I wish you all the best going forward, and I hope to see more rad shit coming from the Dixiana Cycle Co. Just
Pay attention. I got some things coming.
as soon as you get some more time. I mean, I'm sure being a dad
I actually
and
have.
all the other things, takes up.
I've been in the
big
shop a
chunk.
good bit in the past couple of weeks, and it's been nice.
Okay, sweet.
So I've been toying around with some stuff, trying to clear out, get a bunch of stuff. I want more space, so trying to get a bunch of stuff that I've had laying around for entirely too long fixed
Yeah.
and fucking gone. Like get this out of here.
Do you have buddies that are just hitting you up, like trying to get you to work on their shit, or just rando people?
I don't work on motorcycles. I'm a cake decorator.
Okay. All right. You're the second person that said that. It's like, no, I don't fix bikes. I definitely don't fix bikes for other people.
Oh, fuck that.
Just changing my whole what I thought fabricators did.
There's just too much like liability in it. Like if I touch somebody's bike and like fix the carburetors on it, and then like fucking 2 days from now it's running like shit again, and they've spent a bunch of money with me, they're crying to me.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Like, oh, you son of a bitch, you didn't fucking do this or whatever. I'm like, bro, like, check the fucking oil, maybe. I don't know, like something.
Yeah.
Like if I do a bunch of work and like guarantee it as something that I take pride in, and something happens, it's always your fault because you're the last person that touched it. So I'd rather just like build custom parts, like paint, and do like, you know, machining and the fabrication side of things, like make cool stuff. The stuff I like to do anyways.
Yeah.
Fixing motorcycles and trying to figure out what's wrong with them sucks anyways. You're just spending hours and hours like, why I want this work.
Sure. Banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, fuck that. That sucks. There's no money in it. There's no fun in it. There's no, like, what is there to gain from that? Other than like some asshole yelling at you that his bike still doesn't work right.
I don't know, man. I mean, you're the one with the bike shop, so.
Or like, oh, well, fucking so-and-so's uncle can do it for cheaper. Well, then fucking take it to so-and-so's uncle then.
Yeah. Well, dude, I got to pick up a t-shirt, man. That's cool. And
I actually meant to bring you one.
yeah, we got some. If you can wear some double XLs, I can hook you up with a shirt, but we're like low on supply right now, so.
Go back to my punk rock days. I cut it out.
Yeah, cut it out. Sew
it onto something else.
There you go. You could do something cool with it. Well, Steven, thank you, man, for coming to hang and share some beers with me.
For sure.
And, yeah, it was cool to kind of hear what you have going on.
Hey,
I look forward to seeing some more rad shit coming.
It's all over the fucking place.
Coming out of the Dixiana Cycle Co. workshop. So,
yeah.
All right, man.
I'm excited to get back to it.
I hear you. Well, dude, thanks for coming, man. I'll see you.
All right.